Okay, so here's sort of part 2 of our videos about 1-point perspective. So make sure you've got your ruler handy, and again you want to take and make sure that your page is set up landscape format, not portrait format. So your page should be wider than it is tall. Okay, so 1-point perspective. This time we're going to start out sort of in the middle of our page, and again you want to make sure that your ruler is parallel to your page. You don't want to have it on an angle. And a tip, just based on what I see some people do in the classroom all the time, is they tend to kind of slouch in their chair to one side or lean on an elbow, and then they'll turn their sketchbook or their page on an angle. And I recommend you don't do this when you're doing perspective drawing, because it can actually distort your angles and your perception of them. So try to always keep your page set up so that it's perpendicular to the way that you're facing in your desk. Okay, so in the middle of the page we're just going to go ahead and draw in our horizon line straight across. And again, horizon line is kind of like eye level. Okay. So, a little bit different than the part 1 of this video. Part 2, we're going to take and put our vanishing point over on one side. Okay, and again, don't make it too big. If you make your vanishing point too big, you're more likely, when you're lining up your ruler to it, to pick a bit of a different part of that, which can slightly change your angle and can actually then distort your drawing as you go. So, our vanishing point over here on one side, VP equals vanishing point. And that's the area that we line up all of our sidelines or orthogonals to. Okay, so now starting over here on our horizon line, sort of like yesterday, we're just going to go ahead and make a square or a rectangle. It doesn't have to be precise. What you do need to be precise about is that your lines are straight and that they are parallel or perpendicular to that horizon line. So make sure that it's not going off on angles in different directions. You want to start off with a nice solid rectangle shape. Okay, and again, when you're beginning with the first stages of the drawing, you want to try and keep your lines fairly light. I'm trying to make them very visible and dark for you to be able to see, but because you may be erasing and then adding different details later, you want to start off fairly light. Okay, so we're going to now start with our bottom left-hand corner here, and we're going to line up our ruler to that bottom left-hand corner and to our vanishing point. And just like the part 1 video, we're looking to use a very light dashed line to give us an idea of where that line is headed. Awesome. Now we need to do the same thing with the top left side. Line it up. Double check. Sometimes when you move one side, the other side moves and it's off. So double check. Line up your corner and your vanishing point. Try and keep your pencil straight up and down so that it doesn't slide under the edge of your ruler. If you have a good ruler, it has a little bit of a raised edge, so then when you're inking, the ink doesn't suck underneath the edge of the ruler and start sort of bleeding out on your paper. So a lot of good rulers will have a little bit of a raised edge. Oh, I didn't make that a dash line. We'll edit that out in post, right? Oh, look, now it's a dash line. I feel like Elon Musk presenting the brake-resistant windows on a Cybertruck right now. Okay, we'll edit it out in post. Okay, so we've got those outside lines, and now we're going to do the same thing with our inside corners, because this cube or box that we're making, we're able to see into it. That's one of the whole points of using perspective, is that it creates depth and makes things look three-dimensional in our artwork. Okay, so I'm going to start with that top right corner, line it up to my vanishing point, and when I'm drawing in my dashes, I don't need to go all the way through the shape. I can just go until I sort of hit that first line. And same thing with my bottom right hand corner. Line it up to my vanishing point, double check, hold my ruler nice and firm, and put in a dashed line. Alright, so now hopefully you can kind of see where our cube is going. I'm going to take my ruler and line it up with one of my vertical walls so that I know my ruler is nice and straight and vertical, and I'm gonna slide it back till whatever depth I want my cube to be, and I'm gonna draw a nice straight vertical line between those two dashed lines like so. And now I can go ahead and solidify the dash lines to complete the edges of my cube, or my rectangular cube. In this case, I think it kind of looks like a shipping container, maybe. There we go. Okay, and so now just to clean up the drawing, I can go ahead and get rid of my dash lines, clean up any of my edges. Make sure I clean up any spots where I kind of went over a little. Excellent. Okay, so there's our rectangular cube on the horizon line, and of course, you know, you can imagine if this is the roof that maybe there's a little bit of shadow in there. Now we're going to leave our horizon line there because we still have a few more drawings to do. But obviously, when you're creating a nice composition with different shapes and perspective, that would be something that you'd want to, at the end, remove as well. Okay, so this one is at eye level. Now we're going to do another one above our horizon line. So I'm going to start up here. Don't go too close to your vanishing point. Don't do it up here. This is going to be too difficult with the angles being too sharp. So just try and keep it in the same kind of general space as where you put your other one. And we'll start off again with just making a little bit of, make sure your ruler, make sure it's level, parallel to your horizon line. Don't have it off on an angle. Okay. Make sure your verticals are nice and vertical. Okay, so I've got my little rectangle or square here now. So now, if the horizon line represents our eye level, and this is above eye level, that means we're looking up at it. And when you look up at a box that's above your head, you can see the bottom of the box. So, just like we've done before, start with the left bottom corner, line our ruler up to the left bottom corner and our vanishing point, and make a very light dash, 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 dash. Good. And we can do the same thing with the bottom right hand corner. Line it up, double check. Very light. Dash, dash, dash. And do the same thing with our top left corner. just about did it again with the solid line. And sort of like what we did here, we still can see inside our cube, so we can see what's happening with this corner. We're going to line that up to the vanishing point. Okay. Oh, come on, contrast. There we go. So now we have to create the back wall of our cube. So starting with our ruler lined up on that bottom front edge, keeping it nice and even and level, just slide it back to a certain point and then draw the horizontal line between those two dash lines. And just need to make that a little darker so you can see it on camera, like that. There we go. And same thing now for the side that we did before with this box down here. Line the ruler up to that front vertical edge, and we can slide it back until we line it up with that corner of the line that we just drew. Come on, contrast, work with me. If I zoom in, there we go. Slide back, up, draw a nice vertical. Huzzah! Alright. Now we have to go and solidify our dash lines along the edges of our box. So I mentioned this morning that something that can help you is when you have a pencil set with a real variety of pencil leads in it, like the ones that you have in your art kits. What you can do is when you're doing all the preliminary rough drawings like this, you can use an H pencil lead, so a 2H pencil, because that's what you use normally for drafting. It tends to be lighter and more precise and it doesn't smudge. And then when you go ahead to add shading and details, you would use one of your softer leads, like a 2B or a 4B, something like that. Right? 2B or not 2B? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, and by opposing end them, to die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub, for in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil. Okay, so now we can go ahead and erase our dash lines, our extra lines, and clean up our corners. But now you can see, because this cube that we've drawn is above eye level, we get to see the bottom of the box, right? Okay, so here's the next challenge, artists. The next step I want you to do on your own. So we drew one above. What I want you to do is draw one below down here on your own, and then go ahead and share that with me. Submit that assignment. Okay, there you go. Thank you.